Hey everybody! You've heard the phrase measure twice, cut once. Well, it's a good one, and today I'm here to help you make the most of those measurements. You already know how to use a tape measure, but most tape measures have a few features that you may not have known about that can actually help you make the most accurate measurements. The first tip is really about finding a great tape measure to begin with. Look for one with the widest tape. Tapes are curved so that they'll keep their structure even when extended to great lengths. And the wider the tape, the farther you can extend it unsupported. You'd be surprised how often you actually need this feature. Now this next tip, it may seem obvious to some, but it's actually worth mentioning. When you're measuring, make sure the tape is straight and not sagging. If it sags, you'll be recording a longer measurement than the true length. So when it comes to marking down your line, it's actually important to mark it with a V rather than a straight line. The reason for this is if you draw a line, it's difficult to remember which side of the line is the correct one when you come back later. Instead, mark it with a V with the bottom point directly on your measurement. So you may have noticed that the hooked metal tab at the end, it's loose. This isn't a design flaw, it's actually a feature. When you hook it behind an object, then pull out the tape to measure, the tape separates from the tab a bit. That movement and resulting gap compensates for the 1/16 of an inch thickness of this metal hook. That way you end up with an accurate measurement. When the end tab is pushed against an object, say when you're measuring inside a drawer or even a window, the little gap closes so you will still get a perfect measurement. While we're looking at the end of the tape, there's another feature worth pointing out. You'll usually find a small hole in the front of the hook tab. This can come in useful if you're working solo and need to be able to securely hook the measuring tape to something. If you're able to install a small nail or screw at one end of the measurement, the tab is designed to hook nicely onto it while you measure the rest. And one last tab related tip. Check out how the end is rough or serrated. This can come in handy for making a line exactly at the end when you can't quite reach your pencil. So the last tip is probably the least known feature, but also is pretty critical if you want to take accurate inside measurements. Most people, me included, will just bend the tape and try to get it as close as possible to an accurate reading, but ultimately this method is not precise. And there's a better way. If you take a look on the casing of the tape, usually around the belt clip, you'll see that it actually tells you exactly how long the casing is. This allows you to butt the tape measure against the edge, take the measurement you see on the tape, and just add the length of the casing to your end result. I know none of us really need more math in our lives, but if you're in a situation where 1/16 of an inch can make a difference, this is probably something you'll want to do. So there you go. Hopefully you learned something new about a tool you already have. It's our mission to bring quality craftsmanship to every single kitchen.